Wow, the Bollinger Bandwidth has decreased to its lowest level since November 12th of 2018. You guys may remember what happened on November 12th, 2018, a massive return to volatility after about 3 months of incredibly sideways action, very similar to what we're seeing only now in these charts. Are we about to see a massive return to volatility? However, this time, is it possible we swing to the upside? We'll be looking at some data that might show that. However, on the flip side here of Bitcoin's daily chart, you see at the very top of this EMA ribbon a consolidation that we only usually see before a massive dump. So which one is it? We have most indicators actually showing a bullish move, but this indicator right here we'll show you later on in the video actually very often signals a massive dump to the downside. And as well as Bitcoin actually failing to hold this 21-day moving average, we'll take a look at that. And huge, we're going to get into why the altcoin rally has just started. Even if Bitcoin does take a tumble over the next week, there is a ton of data showing that alt season has a ton of juice. We are just getting started with that. And yet again, Bitcoin getting a bounce at the bottom of this ascending triangle. So again, this leads to more bullish bias in the short term. Alts maintaining the gains of the last few days. Link, XTZ as well, looking prime for an explosion. And most importantly, Digibyte looking absolutely primed as well over the next 2 weeks. I think this is a trade with Bitcoin that could end up going very, very, very northward. Absolute massive gainers. Let's do this. Wow, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to an extremely exciting Tuesday webisode. We have a lot to get into, guys, and specifically, the move is on the way. So we have a lot to get into with Bitcoin TA, and as well, we're going to be talking about alts, guys. And as well, everybody in T4, we actually did just update this morning to the active investments July 14th. We cover about 7 or 8 different alts in this update. So guys, huge, check it out. This is available on mobile, and you get 20% off with the code PLATINUM at checkout. Wow, so as we said, most things on these charts, especially longer time frame, are showing that Bitcoin has a very big bullish bias. The only thing that I'm seeing right now we're going to get into is this EMA ribbon, and we're going to show you details about why this has been very bearish in the past. I'm very uncertain about this metric because, again, we have so many indicators showing bullish right now. However, I noticed this morning, and this has been continuing to tighten and tighten over the past few weeks, ever since June 22nd, really. So we're going to delve into that. And then as well, we have a lot of other stuff to delve into, including DeFi altcoins, guys. This is huge. Not a doubt in my mind, the altcoin space is about to boom. You guys see it across the board. All of your top favorite crypto channels as well. Everybody is talking about altcoins, and for good reason. Thank goodness, just a few weeks ago, those same people were Bitcoin maximalists. Now they're talking about altcoins like crazy. That's how you know alt season could be right around the corner, guys. So as well, make sure to leave your comment below if you want to enter for this ledger. Make sure to hit that ding, subscribe, turn on the like-rones. And without any further ado, let's jump into the website. Okay, guys, huge. We're going to talk about Bitcoin's volatility about to increase massively, but I also wanted to talk about this. So this was published before we get into the TA by William Suberg here on Cointelegraph. It's mainly what I want to cover in this is just some picks on some altcoins here. Particularly with this, Bitcoin not moving, however, Ethereum being more active in trading and as well altcoins in general. Uploading findings using on-chain monitoring resource Glassnode on July 10th, one trader knows Ether exchange balances remain high while Bitcoin balances have dropped a lot. ETH balances on exchanges have been increasing, but Bitcoin has been leaving exchanges for over 3 months now. One of the reasons he says here is that the current DeFi trend may be influencing investors. DeFi sector has sparked a token boom and associated trading, and ERC20 tokens on Ethereum are required for some of these transactions, guys. These are probably going to be continuing this trend. But more importantly, this talk of alt season, a period of growth and profitability in altcoins, continues to gather pace. 2 weeks ago, you look at all the top YouTube channels for crypto, everyone only talking about Bitcoin. Now, guys, they're basically only talking about altcoins. Now, if that isn't a sure sign that something is brewing in the altcoin space, I don't know what is. And as well, most alts should gain on Bitcoin in the near future. So when you go to that Bitcoin pairing, you should see altcoins actually gaining a lot of momentum. And we should also see Bitcoin dominance continue to decrease, which has kind of been a trend over the past few years, particularly in 2016 and 2017 is when it was massively important and massively apparent. Zooming out beyond DeFi though, also major altcoins still remain a fraction of their all-time high from more than 2 years ago. Okay, for example, ETH was trading at like $1,500 US dollars, but it hasn't even gotten up to like 20% of those levels, okay? Many of these coins that we talk about as well are still like 90% down from their all-time highs, which in my opinion are some of the coins that capture most of my interest because there potentially is a massive amount of upside that could be recaptured in this alt cycle and in this bull run. However, Bitcoin is still it's only about 50% from this all-time high. All-time high around 20K. Bitcoin's been right around that 10K mark for months now. So while Bitcoin is down about 50%, a lot of these altcoins, some of these are actually down 95, even 98% from their all-time highs. Huge. Now we have a lot to get into with Bitcoin's price, but one thing I want to start with is here. So this is the EMA ribbon, and you can see if we zoom in here, I'll zoom in close because you guys have told me before that you've been unable to see some of these darker lines. Oh, and as well, people keep telling me to take off my glasses for some reason. I keep getting called a nerd in the comments because I wear glasses, but guys, I can't really see without them. So guys, I actually just made the EMA ribbon lines a lot bigger so you can see this, but you can see all this consolidation here where the top of this EMA ribbon gets very tight, and you can see that because you can see them overlapping here. Okay, for example, they're not tight back here, but then you see here where they're getting very tight. What usually happens, and what I've seen many times happen when that does happen, is a dump. So let's actually show the opposite. Okay, when it consolidates at the bottom, when it's red and it consolidates at the bottom, you see that leads into a massive pump right here, right? Now, this is more like what we're seeing right now. We see it consolidate green at the top, and you see what we've had happen in the past is a massive dump. So again, I'm not sure how likely this is to happen considering all of the bullish things we're seeing on the chart. However, from my experience with using this has been somewhat of a reliable indicator. As you can see here, we see it consolidate towards the bottom, massive pump up. I mean, this has kind of just been truly reliable. If we even go back to July of 2019, you see it did consolidate very green for a while, but then it continued to pump. But ultimately, what ended up happening, as you can see, was a dump. So it was kind of like consolidation, a little bit of a fake out, and then continue dump. So again, it's not like guaranteed as soon as we see the consolidation that it immediately dumps, but it does have a pretty good track record of showing when it consolidates at the top here, often what does happen afterwards is a dump. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. So this makes me a little more neutral about the price action, as we're ultimately have been pretty bullish lately with all of the indicators. This makes me lean a little bit more bearish, ultimately bringing everything a little more neutral. Again, making this, in my opinion, still a pretty risky zone if you're trading or something like that. Right now, my main goals, again, are to pick up some very cheap alts for, a 1-2 year hold. That's my primary goal here. That's where I've made most of my money, and that's where I continue to think that that's where most of my longer term gains are going to come from. But yeah, I'm curious about this. This is the EMA ribbon. Something I noticed here, and this is just on the daily chart I have pulled up on Bitfinex. However, something we see on this chart, a return to volatility. So if we go back to November 12th, guys, after trading sideways basically for a few months at the very end of 2018, again, I remember this like it was yesterday. It was the most boring period in crypto I can remember. Bitcoin traded in between 6,100 and like 6,800 for like 3 months, okay? It was insanely boring, very similar to what we're seeing now. If you look on this weekly chart, the only times that we've traded this sideways for a few months are back here and basically right now. Okay, for the rest of the chart, you can see for the most part, it was pretty explosive. Each weekly candle had at least some movement, usually, $500 to $1,000 weekly candles at least. But again, you can see these periods are very similar. And what happens when this does is a massive return of volatility, as you can see here. This went to the downside. However, I'm going to read this article that actually showing that we actually might be on the opposite end of this, where this is actually showing it might push us higher. So one thing we have in common with right now is the Bollinger Bands. Okay, so this article on CoinDesk by Omkar Godbole here, Bitcoin volatility metrics are like November 2018 all over again. He's talking about this. He's saying it's this all over again. Bitcoin's ongoing low volatility range play is reminiscent of the price doldrums observed ahead of a sudden 40% price crash in the second half of November 2018. This time, however, the price squeeze may end with a bullish move. On-chain metrics and macro factors suggest, which I agree with. All of that I agree with 100%, except for that EMA ribbon indicator that we were just talking about. Everything else, in my opinion, is very macro bullish. As a result, the Bollinger Bandwidth has declined to 0.04, the lowest level since November 12th, 2018, guys. Again, leading me to believe we are this week going to see a massive return of volatility and a potential, 1,000, 2,000 price swing in a day or two. Bollinger Bands are placed 2 standard deviations above and below the 20-day moving average of price. Meanwhile, the Bollinger Bandwidth is calculated by dividing the spread between the volatility bands by the 20-day moving average. Volatility, as represented by the Bollinger Bandwidth, topped out at 0.89 following the March 12th crash dubbed Black Thursday and has been on a declining trend since. A prolonged period of low volatility consolidation often ends with a violent move in either direction. Okay, guys, that's what happened back in November. And again, that's most likely what we're going to see here very soon. So get ready. It's probably going to get pretty explosive here. So what he's saying in regards of on-chain data being bullish, over 62% of Bitcoin has not moved in over a year, according to Glassnode, a blockchain analytics firm. And guys, that's usually a very bullish sign. We see that as we enter uptrends. So very big. We definitely have to consider that as well. What do you think? I definitely agree. We're going to see a massive return of volatility like this. And I 100% think we're going to be seeing it very soon. I've been saying for a while, I think it's going to happen sometime in July, and I think it's going to happen towards the middle of July, which is right now. I think it's going to happen most likely this week, and that's also why I made the video yesterday about that date. But guys, as of right now as well, we are holding right at the tippy top of the 9,200 yet again as price volatility continues to get lower and lower. The volatility declines. You can see the volume has declined as well. Volume just continuing to go down on this daily chart because we do not have a lot of room left before we're going to see something like this. We're most likely going to see a massive break in volume, and that's going to increase the volatility. More importantly here, guys, we are running out of room in between these two very important lines, 2.5 year, 2.5 month. Okay, both of these are very critical in my opinion. So I think we either need to see a breakup to at least about 10K to test the top of this, or we're going to see a massive rejection. More likely, I do think it is possible that we're going to go up. But again, the thing throwing me off a little bit is seeing these this EMA ribbon. I'm just not sure what to think of it right now. I'm not sure how much actual impact it could have. But historically, that is not a good sign if we're looking for upwards momentum. And as well, guys, it's actually awesome seeing Link maintaining right now above that $7 figure. Absolutely insane. XTZ as well looking primed for a move. We have Digibyte. I just cannot wait to see this blast off. And huge, guys. So if you want to get more in detail with all of the alts and everything I'm looking at, make sure to sign up for T4V4. Link is in the description, and currently we're doing 20% off with the code Platinum. So many of you guys have been joining this week. It's absolutely awesome. And we have already been keeping up to date, updating every day on exactly what is going on. Today's update is up as well, so make sure to check that out. And huge, guys, make sure to enter for your ledger. In fact, there is only 2 more days to get 20% off a Ledger Nano X. All you have to do is choose your coin, which you do here. You just copy and paste whichever coin it is. You put in that code when you check out and you get 20% off, and it votes for crypto. Obviously, Bitcoin is in first place here, 12,000 points. So make sure if you need a Ledger X, now is a great time to do it because there's only 2 days left, 20% off of that. And as well, guys, if you want a bonus for trading when you deposit, you can see the amounts here. If you sign up with the link below, you can get these deposit amounts added to your account to trade with. Absolutely huge. When you deposit just 0.2 Bitcoin, you get $100 extra to trade here on Dudex. Absolutely huge. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.